السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته، أهلا وسهلا بكم في بودكاست عافيتك. اليوم حلقتنا بتكون باللغة الإنجليزية، لكن إن شاء الله ستجدون الترجمة في وصف الحلقة وفي خيار الحلقة الموجود في اليوتيوب فقط في منصة اليوتيوب. So welcome, my friend Dosan. It's really a pleasure to meet you. We have been
Nice to meet you too.
together like working and talking about our interests for maybe 2 or 3
year?
years.
Yeah, I think it's a year and a half, something like that.
Yeah, so
Or
it's really a pleasure
month.
to meet
Yeah.
you and have you in this podcast. First of all, I would like you to give a professional background about yourself and how you started and how you reach what you are doing right now. Then we're gonna talk in details about your project.
Hi, so thank you. It's nice to be here, and thank you for welcoming me. Well, I've entered into digital health, after I don't know 30 years of work. I have a BE in economics, but I've been always dealing with computers, and somewhere around 2007, I've started working for an American company. Actually, I sold them one of my websites on a huge, at that time, it was a big mobile news blog into mobile.com. They acquired my company, created that new website out of it. And for the next 7 years, I was actually writing about mobile technology. And while doing that, of course, I was keeping up with with mobile technology. I saw how the healthcare, how the tech companies are entering the healthcare space. And while exploring more, I saw just how that market of the healthcare IT companies is a very, very not just complicated, but very opposed to change. And the new technologies were coming. Many of them refused to accept them. They wanted to be gatekeepers of the user information, and that pretty much is that is still the case in some instances. And then I thought, how the new technologies emerged, like before the Fitbit, there was the Joe Bone and other like the wearable technology started developing. And I got interested in it. And then at around 2013, 14, I've created the first website where I wanted to give a mobile angle on it. And it was mHealth Spot. The website is still live, though I'm not updating that regularly. And after a year, I thought, okay, let me turn this into a business. Let's create a paid portion. And then I've created dhbriefs.com, where I thought I'll be publishing reports, because while I was reading and taking notes for myself, I thought, I can structure this and turn this into some reports. And that took a while to take off. But even, after a while, it didn't take off too much, because I still have to work on other things to pay the bills. And then while speaking with someone from the Netherlands, one lady, I think she was working at the M&A division in Philips, she told me, why don't you just focus in Europe? And then we thought, okay, this is a good idea. I'm based in Belgrade, in Serbia. I'm not from the region. I thought, okay, let me do that. But after a while, because there are just the two of us, me and a friend, we figured, okay, we cannot cover. There's too much happening, especially in biotech. Europe is very strong in biotech. And we thought, and we wanted to include biotech, not just the digital health. We wanted to go beyond, and that's the new wave of biotech, where they're using the latest in computing technology to do their thing, to innovate and create new molecules or whatnot. And then we figured, okay, we cannot do that. What can we do? We have developed some technology stack. And the set of plugins we're using, the database structure. We thought, which is the market which we can cover and where we can actually make an impact. We were looking around it, and we thought, not Africa. Let's do the GCC. And then we figured, the population level is like 50 something million. We need a bigger market. And then we figured, let's do the MENA region, but let's put it through the, how to say, Arab, not lens, but let's focus on the Arab countries. There's a population, and it's very diverse, from Tunisia to Saudi Arabia, Emirates, Qatar, and Egypt. Egypt is very important. It has 100 million people. And we've said that, okay, this is what we're going to do. And we've started the revamping and additionally retooling, getting new things to the platform. And so DH Arab was born like a year and something ago. And then we thought, okay, we started exploring the ecosystem. and started adding the companies filling our database, and thought, what are we going to do? We've seen what are the challenges. It is, by the way, very challenging to find news from the region. Very challenging. Many companies don't publish their news, so we have to scatter through Twitter, use all kinds of translation tools because we don't speak Arabic. But at the end, we came to something. Okay, we now have the newsletter, and after a year, we've created our paid offering, which I think offers great value for the money. And that's pretty much it. That's where we are now. And what else you want me to
Nice. Yeah. I mean,
say?
it's really great. So you are economist background, right?
Yeah. In
What brings you
finance.
to the technology, health things? What motivates you? I mean, before we dig deep in the motivation for digital health in the MENA region or in Arab region, what motivates you, at least from your background, to come to the health, then now to digital health, now to the Arab world?
Well, the motivation was first, when I was young, I was playing games when I was 8 or 9. I had a Commodore, so I kind of, fell into computers and was keeping up, with Amiga, PC, and then all that jazz. But the medical thing, I don't have any medical background except as a patient, and luckily not too much.
Yeah, that's good.
I saw the opportunity there, and
Mm.
then because we were mostly, by the way, covering the American healthcare system, which is extremely messed up. Really, really, it took me a while just to figure out how that
To
works, because you
understand
have
it. Yeah,
multiple payers. I mean, you have multiple payers in Europe, but you have
yeah.
the one main payer, which is the government, the country. But here it's so very messed up. And then, it took me a while just to figure out some of the technology solutions. What are the problems they're trying to solve? Because some of those problems don't exist outside of the United States. But nevertheless, the new technology, especially in the terms of sensors and sensor processing, was coming. And you can see that, the new opportunities emerging. I could imagine Apple Watch, or a device like Apple Watch, emerging like in 2015 or 14. Even, with the first Fitbit, one could imagine, okay, this will be a part of some new watch.
Mm.
Even before the Fitbit, as I was saying, there were many companies which don't exist anymore. But I figured, this sensors and these new devices, and as the sensors and electronics is becoming increasingly smaller, will open new opportunities, new markets. And healthcare is one of the last sectors overall in the economy that was waiting, and actually in some ways still waits to be properly digitized. Until we get the CD or X-ray image, it's not digitized. We should have all that in a cloud and
Yeah.
access it. I remember, like in Belgrade, like 5-7 years ago, or 10, I don't know. If I wanted my health records to access, not from someone else but mine, I had to pay for them to copy so I could get a copy. And like 20 years ago, I couldn't get even that. Now I can
Mm.
access it on some online portal, and I
Yeah.
can schedule everything through the web app. But and that's just one thing. But if I go to the private hospital, they won't be able to. Still, don't have access to my health records. So there is still a vacuum, and the space for those technologies. To build those connectors, make them super secure. The security is important there, and because of the nature of data, uh, uh, the local governments wants that data to be local. But then you have challenges in the not foreign, but the external security experts, because it's a very sensitive data. And we saw it in the US, where they have resources, and we're reading about leaks, and about ransomware for the healthcare facilities. So there is still much room for the improvement. And luckily we had COVID, which pretty much put this industry like advanced it and pushed
Yeah.
it 5 years ahead.
More. Yeah. Yeah.
If there is something good about COVID, it's
Yes.
that the healthcare industry got better, and
Yeah.
accepted
Yeah.
more technology.
Yeah. And I think in the introduction you said that when you started the health website, and then technology wasn't like something really the medical field will take it like easily. They were resistant to that, as you said. I think it's the same situation right now with the digital health. What's your takes on this? I mean, why there is resistance? And the last thing technology come to is medical. Why the medical field is not adopting this type of technology that will enhance healthcare, for example, or prevention of diseases? I mean, from your experience, what would be these factors?
Well, I'm don't have, like experience in direct implementation, but from what I'm reading and, from the kind of, I'd say what it makes sense, people don't want to change their habits, and, I've seen reports that there's still, I don't know, millions of pagers out there. So some people are still using pagers, and especially in hospitals. And doctors are saying we like pagers, coach. We don't have to reply right away. We just get the information, and we will respond when it's better for us. They can use the phone like that as well, but they've got used to a device like pager, which just informs them there is a message. Call this person. So they have their their way of doing things on one hand, and on the other hand, so far with the existing EHR solutions and those hospital management or health system management solutions, the only thing doctors got was more administration. And it is still the first generation software where which was in many cases, I don't want to say in general, but was built like without some usability standards. And it's like when you give there's that joke when you give a programmer to create a software, and he just puts all the fields from the database that user needs to fill. And in some cases that is really the case, and the doctor ends up spending as much time doing the administrative work as with the patient. And when they hear technology, they're like, oh, I'm already half of my time is spent on technology, as you're calling it. But luckily, we now have, the dictation is now, I don't know, in its 10th year or 20th year. Microsoft acquired Nuance, which was the leading in that, plus add AI to the mix. And at the end, you will get something really, really useful. Those technologies are still not widely adopted. I guess they are in pilot phases across the board. But we can imagine a world where a doctor would just say like 3 words when someone comes with a flu and says, the guy or the girl has a flu, add my usual notes, and the software would fill in the details, especially when the flu season, and they see 10 patients with the same with the same throat, and with the same symptoms, and they will prescribe the same thing. So why bother typing in 10 times? But it will be up to the payers, governments in the world, or insurance companies who will actually be pushing that change towards the providers, which will then push it to the doctors, nurses, and everyone else. Because what's coming actually, and it's already there in some sense and in select places, is something that truly increases efficiencies and reduces costs. So far that was the promise of EHR, first EHRs, but that didn't happen. So that's why people are like doctors and everyone else in the administrative world. Like, we're fed up with that so-called technology.
Yeah, and that's lead me to the question, because now it's a challenge, as you said, that the medical field is not taking this technology quickly as other maybe field. However, also you are really interested in digital health in the Arab region, even though the information is not that available, as you said. But before we go this, I have to say I was privileged to look at some of the reports that you are doing about the region. Personally, I'm really interested in digital health, especially in our region and globally as well. Not like as a researcher only, but as a personal person in this technology area or the digital age. would you please describe exactly what you are doing right now in the digital health Arab? So what type of information you provide, what type of reports, who you are, aiming from this report? Who's your audience?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. So it's dhrarab.com. Write it down, visit it, bookmark it.
Yes, I will have it in the description.
Yeah, what we'd like to think is like we're, because we want to like explain plastically to those who know that sector, is we want to be a crunch base for focused on digital health in the MENA region. What does that mean? It means we want to provide the latest information, database of companies in the region, which data companies, investors, accelerators, and to the region, and along with our newsletter, which is made to keep users informed. We send it every week. Make sure to sign up, and and we have that free part, which is the information, and our paid part. We also includes access to the limited access to the database. The paid part includes access to our reports. We have 4 reports now, which are actually not based, not focused on the region per se, but on technologies like XR, extended reality, blockchain, what's that? Senior care technologies, and we also have one, I would say, general introduction to digital health, and also that unrestricted access to database. We actually spend time to manual add that data. We've tried using several scraping tools. That is not possible because we want to include contacts and their LinkedIn profiles. We weren't able to automate that. We would gladly do it. Plus, we then have highlights for every company. In addition to companies, we have investors and accelerators. In that sense, we see our audience, first geography-wise, people in the region and people outside of the region. Now, from where I stand, I'm outside of the region. The eyes of the world are pretty much focused on Saudi Arabia, how to get their contracts, governments. And the government of Saudi Arabia had that deadline January 1st for everyone who's selling, who wants to work with, who wants the government's contracts, have to move their headquarters to Saudi Arabia. And what we saw is exactly what was expected. Everyone moved their headquarters, GE Healthcare, all of those, of the bigger one. So on one side, we have those outside companies, and on the other side, we're looking for internal players, so those who want to be informed what's going on in the region. What I can tell is that our database is rather unique in that sense. You can get that information, some of that information on Crunchbase, PitchBook, and there's that one from the region. I forgot its name on M. But can you get like who's working to tackle diabetes in Dubai? You can browse by disease on the Arab. And as I said, you will get we call that highlights for every company, which we visit the website, see what they're all about, and okay, this is the highlights about their product, about their offering. I don't know if they were in the media, we highlight that thing. Okay, so they're interesting to the wider public, and that is pretty much our audience. Ultimately, we want to be the place for business of digital health in the MENA region. So whenever you think digital health, you will need to find a partner, investor, or someone else to work with. You should go to our website to identify them. And we try to do the job. By the way, our initial focus, and we're still mostly focused on the GCC countries, because we want to find ourselves the partner and the investor. We've speak with someone, but so far we couldn't find someone to click with.
Yeah. And hopefully this platform will give you this opportunity to show exactly what you are doing. So hopefully you will get exactly what you need. But so in doing this, every project has its like opportunities and challenges. Would you please let us know? I'm really interested and eager to know what's the opportunities you see from doing this project and what's the challenges. So in both ways, as a personal experience in this field, what's the challenges you are in the project, and also as someone look at the data and look at the report and collecting the data and making some report about digital health in Arab region. What's the challenges and opportunities overview of the field and in the future.
Okay, let me first
So
start
personal
with our
experience and then the overall challenges, opportunity of the digital health in the Arab regions.
let me start with our own challenges. What I've mentioned is that we're having hard time finding information about the companies for one reason or the other. Many of the startups in the region, and by the way, that's not specific to the MENA region. I see that in Europe, outside of the UK, and across Europe. If the company in France or Spain doesn't have a VC backing to guide it, hire a PR firm, hire a PR person to help you out with it. They still look like, with the website, you think they're dead, or there's nothing new happening. So we're having hard time finding news. In that sense, on the other side, that is also our opportunity to be that news provider for the digital health market. Also, what we've seen is that what we want, as I was saying, to find a local partner. What we've seen is that all major news and events are made by Informa, like a British company, Arab Health and the Global Health. What's the name of the major health event in Saudi Arabia?
The Global Health Summit.
A Global Health Summit, yeah, that they're both. And we thought, okay, this should be actually an opportunity for someone from the region to actually own a piece of us, perhaps even acquire us at the end, if we find a mutual ground. Why wouldn't that be a local thing? And as we're seeing in Saudi, before that, we were keeping up with what's happening in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. The Saudis are now investing serious money in all kinds of developments, and I would think they should also put money in me, but yes, in me, but like to control that channel, to help it that way. What I do really believe that we are adding value to the local ecosystem.
Yeah.
If you're in digital health tech, biotech, you have only a few options to look out. And even among those options, digital health is like one of the sectors they're covering. And we are focused on that. So that is the opportunity. Another opportunity for us, actually, in that sense, is to be that, and as I was mentioned, to be that prime source of information. Which leads me back to the challenges. By the way, such hubs exist throughout Europe. Europe is all about government intervention, whether on local, regional, national, or EU-wide level. You have like a Barcelona Health Hub, Vienna Health Hub, Helsinki Health Hub, London, Paris have something like that. Whereas in the US, it's pretty much the VCs who are controlling the narrative, and they're organizing their own health hubs. Most notable examples are Startup Health and Rock Health. They're also a community of their own, of the companies they've invested in, and they're pretty much introducing their own startups or portfolio companies to bigger investors when it's a need. We want to perhaps help build such a place, whether it's based around the VC or around the country region. Well, I was pitching to someone, I was saying, can you imagine a NEOM digital health hub, or Riyadh or Jeddah, when I was pitching to someone from Saudi Arabia? I said the same from Doha, but that should be someone, there should be interest for something like that, or it doesn't have to be for the city. It could be for some bigger VC, like SVC Health Hub. Digital health in North America and Europe is among the top 3 sectors, and which brings me to challenges in the region. It's not even close in the region.
Fintech is the dominator on that. Darling
of the media is fintech. Everything is fintech. Sometimes I see something regarding education, but the information that the company in the region raised the money, and it's digital. The digital company raised money. It's like it happens once or 2 months, something like that.
Yeah.
Which is, and you got, by the way, such deals in Europe daily.
Yeah.
Or at least weekly. In US, definitely daily. Because as I was saying, especially in the US, it's like 18% of their GDP is healthcare because they're super inefficient.
Yeah.
And 18% of their GDP is a GDP of France. It's huge money. Huge money. And there is a huge opportunity in the healthcare cost right now the population of GCC is very young, but the obesity and diabetes numbers are world class in a bad way.
Yeah.
They're through the roof. So you can anticipate, and by the way, I see them anticipating world class health centers. Everything is top notch, and I would assume that you get the world class care in modern facilities across the GCC, across the Gulf. But nevertheless, it's the digital health thing about it is something that can be exported, and you can scale it.
Yeah.
You cannot scale. I mean, scaling hospital requires another hospital, and and you cannot scale it global. Or I guess you can do that, but that costs real money. It costs a lot. So that is, and that's where I see the opportunity to not to further invest, but I guess to educate the developers, the entrepreneurs about that market, because the way I see it, there's got to be something if it's so much money flows into it in North America and Europe. In Europe, by the way, they're mostly, not mostly, but a big chunk of them is focused on biotech, because Europe isn't the best when it comes to exit for the companies. And with the biotech, you have the clearest possible exit. You're waiting for the big pharma to acquire you. And another opportunity, actually, the thing that both I've seen the UAE is doing that and the Saudis doing. They're investing a lot in biotech, but I still see there is again, from what we've seen, what's happening in Europe and North America, there is opportunity for smaller players which don't have too much resources to make a dent. And there were some nice, I would actually find, I cannot recall them now, nice examples that were built in Europe. And I'm sure, by the way, that will start happening pretty soon.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you. I mean, with all the investment in digital, specifically in economic, digital economy, for example, in e-games, in fintech, digital is really humble in terms of investment, and it's really also hidden for us to know what type of project is going on in the ground. So the question is, what make you think that it's the future of digital health is promising in the region? What you have come through that make you think it's opportunity to work in this field? I mean, you gather a lot of information. It's kind, for me, you are promoting the idea of digital health in the Arab region. You think it's gonna come now or in the future? What make you think that? I mean, just to say something, I believe in digital health, but it might be not the solution for the health diseases that you mentioned.
No, it probably, not that it won't be a solution. It's like it's solution for one thing, and the people in the region and globally are already using it. Like when you buy an Apple Watch, you get that fall detection that wasn't available before. So in one way or another, it's coming there. Most of the major health system have their own apps. You don't have to call anyone to schedule. You just go through on your phone, do it. We are a very small company. We're not trying to build a unicorn, and we probably, we wouldn't be able to build a unicorn. What we do think is that we can find a sufficient number of people interested in our premium membership, which, by the way, sells for $400 or $50 a month. That was a shameless pitch. And in any ways, entrepreneurs will find their way. What we see now in healthcare is probably only the beginning. While the Meta Quest, or the Oculus Quest, which was before known, was available for years now. Apple released its thing this year, and suddenly, when Apple does something, it's like it didn't exist before. So what we're now seeing is like a brand new companies appearing, offering solutions like they didn't exist before, and they did exist before, but nevertheless they are getting the media attention. And with the new device, the new possibilities will open for the Apple Watch. Then they'll probably bring it to the Quest, or start from Quest there. And suddenly, you wouldn't be no, not suddenly, but you are already reading about many of those solutions in the daily newspaper, not specific, special, but in a daily. Like in Apple Watch, I was looking at our daily newspaper. You can meditate with the Apple Watch, like with the Apple Headset Pro. Of course, you could meditate with any other VR glasses before, but now it's Apple, and now it's getting into the main news. And with those kinds of news and the new tech breakthroughs entering the public discord, that should and will and have already inspired entrepreneurs to try doing something like that. Plus, the healthcare system is one of the most frustrating government operated or systems, which is like a prime for inspiration. How can we make this better by the end user, and if that user happens to be entrepreneur, they may find a way for scheduling. That's how, by the way, we got those scheduling and those kinds of apps like Visita or similar ones in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. They already exist. They figured, okay, we cannot easily find a specialist. I'm sure we can find it in Riyadh and in Jeddah, but in some smaller cities, it could be harder. And if it has something to do with the kidneys, you don't even have to visit. You just have to send your results. It's not like you will be you can send just your blood or urine, and they will read. The telehealth consultation could be enough. And by the way, and as you were saying, why we're still not there, telehealth perhaps doesn't make sense in the UAE. It's a relatively small country. You can drive from one place to the other in a few hours. But in the Saudi Arabia, it's very different. It's a huge country. Also in Algeria, it's also a huge country. So you don't have all specialties across the country.
In Egypt,
And the telehealth,
totally. Yeah.
telehealth is pretty much a necessity there. Or you or the patients will waste their time visiting the major cities and occupying the hospitals and the other resources of the healthcare system. So
Yeah.
the telehealth, by the way, it will, and what we've seen, but sorry, just to what we've seen in the region, in Europe, everywhere, like it's the government that it's the COVID that pushed telehealth toward everyone, even to those who couldn't imagine making a telehealth visit. Suddenly, everyone can do a telehealth visit. You don't have the option, and the thing is that it became normal to perform telehealth visits.
Yeah.
So
And I think digital health is not about telehealth only, because we have to
of
admit we
course,
have the biggest also frames, or the biggest companies of the digital health or telehealth in Saudi Arabia. We have many platforms in psychiatry or in general telehealth. It's even also bigger in terms of the government investing on that. We have the biggest telehealth hospital in the region, run by the Ministry of Health. So I totally understand there is a trend on that, but I don't think digital health all about telehealth. So that's what I want to talk about later on. But before doing so, what's the digital health Arab is doing in terms of like facilitate the communication between investors, startup, and experts? It's really a very fluid type of ecosystem. So you have many partners and players. Do you do any things related to the communication or connection between all stakeholders involved in developing like tools for digital health in the region?
whatever we're doing, we're not doing it enough there. So
Okay.
what if as a startup, what you can do is, by the way, that is the key thing for startups, and I invite all startups to come to our website. What you will find on our website are accelerators, investors that have already invested in digital health. So they may have invested in crypto, they may have invested in fintech before, but they have definitely invested in digital health. And I will show you which companies they've invested in, or if they're accelerator or incubator, which companies they've supported. So that is one thing that we're better. We could certainly do more. We're still trying to figure out how are we going to do that. Perhaps do some matchmaking. I assume that's what you're saying. And just to return, of course, telehealth is just one piece of digital health. but it's kind of the most visible. It's what
Yeah.
helped the industry get during COVID, helped the industry get the media attention. But now to begin, like if you're a startup, visit our investor section and our accelerators to check which of them you can apply to, or where you can find funding in case of investors, because those are the firms that have actually invested in him. We should do more about matchmaking. We're trying to interview some people there. We're actually interviewing startup founders, and we plan to do more of that in the future. It just takes more time, and the HRM is still our side projects. And
So let's talk more about the services. I mean, you mentioned exactly what the Digital Health Arab provided, but for the sake of people who are interested, for example, to make a partnership with you, what exactly the benefits of doing so?
Okay, I just want to clarify what we actually need is an investor, which preferably would also be our partner. What does that mean? As I was saying, I think we're contributing to the region's awareness and development of the sector. That it should be that kind of partner, that we're on the same agenda, who has a longer or medium term vision for a website like the HR. And I'm always pointing at a good example of Startup Health and the Rock Health. So on one hand, it could be a VC who wants to be more prominent in that space, or even develop that space. Because the way I see it, one of the biggest problem is that the space in terms of startups is underdeveloped, and it leaves room for development. And on the other hand, those could be like a regional or national agencies who could benefit from having such a website under their umbrella, whether co-owning us, investing in us, perhaps, as I said again, acquiring us, where they could subtly, but not in a subtly push their agenda. And I don't mean that like propaganda, but they want like it's not the Ministry of Health, but like some agency below it, or some city level agency for development, who could use us for development of the sector. For instance, they could organize some physical space like a digital health hub, and offer, if they're investor or partner, to everyone who joins there, free our reports for free,
Yeah.
or discounted, or access to our database for free, or again discounted as we see fit. And in that sense, I think we could be a solid partner for them and for the region, VC, or city, who
like
would be willing.
incubator or studio for startups
Accelerator.
Accelerator, exactly.
But as I was saying, I've seen like the Barcelona, because I'm going there often for that Mobile World Congress, which happens at the end of February, beginning of March, depends on the year. But they have that Barcelona Health Hub, and I kind of like what they're doing. So they're, of course, supporting their startups with a free space. They also partner on their end with Microsoft or Amazon, to offer them free credits and whatnot, and this free space to work in, and also access to hospitals so they can test their solutions, or access to other, I don't know, government institutions or whatever, that they can streamline access. They potentially need to test and evaluate their solutions on one hand, and on the other hand, they subsidize or even straight out pay expenses for participating in the event. So when I'm in Mobile World Congress, the Barcelona Health Hub alone has a huge booth where they're highlighting like 30 startups that they're supporting, or 20. There are actually a lot of them from Barcelona. And I've seen the France probably is the best example in Europe with their La French Tech, or how they did that. They had the National Investment Banking, BPI France, and that Wave Life French Tech, which subsidizes and offers startups from France. They're actually going across sectors to participate in the events. And again, in Barcelona, there is a huge booth of La French Tech. They also have their booths in the digital health section, and I don't know, fintech section, and elsewhere. So that is the part that this is said on the national level, but the Paris Health Hub is affiliated with the university, so they're supporting their graduates, not doing like Barcelona does, but the Vienna does pretty similar to what Barcelona does, and I think again that is something that where we can contribute. So this is like you'll have access to our database or reports. We could, on our end, help you explore partnerships, other partnership,
globally.
whereas someone
Yeah.
on the ground would have to do that other work. So those would be like our, so to just sum it up. So VCs like accelerators slash incubators, or a local, regional, or a national governments looking to promote and develop their digital health slash health tech slash biotech sectors, but on some startup levels. Because again, I just want to say that the I see that Saudis and again the Emirates are investing a lot in biotech, but they're like building huge facilities for with big labs to test there. But at the end of the day, it should be like the individual or like a small team's idea that should come there, and around, in addition to that facility, one would assume, they want to create a company that isn't just, like limited to Saudi Arabia or Emirates, but which has like a regional and even global ambitions, and that's, what would make for a bigger impact.
Yeah. And I mean, you have been in this for maybe a while, meaning you have come across a lot of information. What lesson have been learned in terms of the market share of digital health in the Arab region? I mean, also, like every business field, there is ecosystem in it. And our structure of the healthcare, because we are talking about digital health, is quite different from others. For example, in the US, it's totally different type of healthcare system. Now in Saudi Arabia, it's changing to be more private, but however, the government still provide this type of services to the citizen. What do you think about shifting to from the government providing healthcare to privatization, and how that might affect the digital health brand or digital health investment?
I don't think actually that alone should make a big impact. Like Europe is a mixture of government,
Both, yeah.
Government being the most payer with
With
private
private share,
parties.
yeah.
But you have the Canada, which is in way more innovative than Europe, like in terms of number of startups per I don't know, million or 100,000 people, and they're pretty much 99% owned by the government. Like the Canada is very, very, very different in that terms from the US. They're almost completely, like in Europe, you would have a hard time finding such an example that the government is so present. That doesn't stop them in innovating. So whereas the way I see the GCC region, they're more close to Europe and will always be more close to Europe than the US. US has some very strange system, whereas in Europe, it's like a human right to get a healthcare. Everyone has healthcare, even if they're not working. That is the similar in Saudi Arabia. It's just that I don't see that being an important part in innovation. The more important part would be for the local accelerators which are popping up across the region to put more emphasis on healthcare, and I guess for the entrepreneurs to get out of the fintech bubble, if that makes sense for them, if they have found money in fintech or e-gaming bubble, or just to think about what can we do to improve healthcare, not just for the time of patients, but in the hospital or in some research lab. And I guess, it could also be about up to universities, so the coast or the technology universities and those biochemistry or such fields, to explore new ideas, and then to see how to turn them into business. And that's where those incubators, which could, and I see that they are supported by the government, could help. Okay, we'll let you play with this idea, use these facilities, use this lab. Here's the access to these hospitals or whatever is needed for you to develop that idea, and here's, I don't know, the access to the data center. And so I don't see that as a major reason. I guess the good thing with it is that when you start looking at healthcare as a business, that it could help entrepreneurs be more motivated to enter that space.
I mean, I totally agree, but I mean, in Canada, you give an example that the government is taking care of their citizen, which is similar to Saudi Arabia. But the changes right now is that also the government is also investing in different digital tools in healthcare. For example, we have, as I said, the biggest virtual hospital in the region. We have digital health apps from the Ministry of Health serving starting when COVID started. So now it's a platform where you can find your medical record. You can also connect, for example, your wearable devices. You can get consultation, telehealth. So it's one platform. The government investing in it. What I'm saying is that if you're gonna enter the market, you have a big investment coming from the government. So what's the segment of this, or the share of this market, can be available for entrepreneur to invest in?
Well, the thing you said, just imagine something similar, just region-wise. You cannot imagine like the Ministry of Saudi Arabia, Ministry of Health of Saudi Arabia entering the Emirates or entering the Bahrain or Oman. So there is still room for someone offering a cross-border solution. And for one thing, also like for some what would be for some what we've seen actually from the Emirates, like those all kinds of fitness based solutions, wellness based solutions, they're popping up, and you would think that some market consolidation will occur by now, but that still hasn't happened, because it's, at the end of the day, it's no longer the tech solutions. I would assume many of them are similar. They have these capabilities, and the best one is the one that engages more users and keeps them engaged for longer. And it's the job of the sales. It's not at the end like a tech problem, but a sales problem. Who will get the biggest employers? Yet the fact that the government has entered, I don't see that as a bad thing. I see that, okay, what's wrong with this segment of this? What is wrong? And there's always room for improvement. Otherwise, we would still be using iPhone 1. And what's the segment of this that a smaller company can do and offer it across the region or even globally? That's one of the things when it comes to those kind of services that are offered by the government. But biotech is different, mental health is different. Wherever you need a licensed physicians, that is very different. They have to grow market by market. But even there, if they can test bed, they don't have to test it in Saudi Arabia. For instance, they could test it in Bahrain or Qatar, which is very smaller. You can test it on a smaller market, and then, okay, we have the platform,
Scale
which
it
is
up
super ready for prime time. Now let's start do it in Saudi Arabia, or the other way around. Let me start with a smaller city, or Jeddah. It doesn't have to be a small city. Like start in Jeddah with local and see whether I can then go above and beyond what the government is offering, and again go beyond the borders. Because, as I said, Ministry of Health of Saudi Arabia, I'm not sure that it will ever be able, perhaps nor it should be. I'm not sure what are their plans, but I cannot imagine Ministry of Health of one country offering healthcare services to the other country.
No, I didn't think so. Also, I totally agree with you. And also, if we are talking about like health and technology, the biggest thing, because I know I'm from Saudi Arabia, I know about the market. Digital health is really a big thing, but also biotech is really a big thing. You talked about it in your introduction. and that might be something. I'm not sure if you in the digital health Arab you are reporting anything regarding biotech, but it's a big thing, and the government is trying to build the ecosystem that help investors locally and globally, and also entrepreneurs and researchers to contribute to the sector because of the challenges that we face in terms of food security, in terms of food safety, in terms also of water challenges. So all of these things is really building up to be a good place for investment in the biotech area. What your takes, or have you come across any information about this area?
Yeah, well, the biotech we do try to cover. We don't have that many news about it. What I've seen, like that Egypt-based protein, but EA at the end, they're like a region's darling. And you can pretty much, if you can name the investor, they've invested in it. They've managed to get all the investors because they did develop the solution. As you were saying, like biotech is a huge area. Healthcare could be one part of it, but it doesn't have to be. It could be regarding food security. We don't do that. Again, I see a lot of room for improvement. If we look, Europe is pretty good at biotech in healthcare.
Yeah.
And as I was saying, and even for the entrepreneurs, you can see a clear exit for entrepreneurs. And that's what, the investors also like, they want to see, okay, I'm putting money in you. Where in 5 years? And they want to say, okay, GlaxoSmithKline, GSK bought me, or Bayer bought me. There is a kind that, or Novartis, whoever, you see the clear exit. As you said, like the I saw that the Saudis also, the Emirates, are investing a lot in biotech, but the healthcare applications are few and far between. I didn't caught many companies. We would love to write about them, and if someone who's in biotech and healthcare is listening to this, please contact me. We would love to know what you're doing.
I think it's gonna be very interesting. I was really on interesting on that, looking for some information on like companies locally, globally investing in biotech, and there is some, but it's really also the same with digital health. So lack of news and information is challenging. So it might be a good opportunity. So we will have this in the description. So I mean, if you can or able to share any information that you find very interesting in terms of digital health tools, especially for prevention, because I'm really interested on this field. Could you let us know in the Arab region what is like innovative idea in digital health about prevention is testing now, or maybe it's out live? Have you come across anything that is shareable?
I'm not sure that I've actually, like most of those regarding prevention are like wellness-based ideas.
Okay.
In that space, what we will have a major changes globally, and will probably push to all of us to sorry from the major tech companies, because now when they're pushing that through their algorithms and the latest AI, we will have like a better actionable advice. That's what the wellness solutions like offered through corporates are all about. But I think we're just in the beginning actually, and that would be why those solutions would be interesting to big players, because they at the end of the day will have most data and most computing power to actually generate some actionable insight. But nevertheless, they will always be, for when it comes to wellness, to space for local players, because someone has to call those people, come on gathering and organize local events and so on. I'm not sure I have seen anything that pops out of my mind. Perhaps perhaps I may be wrong, but in terms of prevention, I'm not sure what.
I mean, the challenges is the same in Saudi Arabia or any other part of the world, meaning wellness, mental health is really the things that individuals look at in terms of improving or preventing any health conditions. So increasing physical activity, improving sleep, enhance their mental health. These are the challenges right now. And implementing this in the workplace specifically, I think it's really, from my understanding, that's a challenge, and it's something really trending, meaning a lot of organization looking to improve their people working in the organization and increase their physical activity, enhance their sleep, because productivity is really related and associated with these wellness components. So that's one thing. And it might be not in the healthcare settings that digital health can be implemented. It can be from other sectors, for example, in the workplace, in the schools, in the education settings. So it's digital health, from my understanding at least, it's not about, or directly should be in the healthcare settings. So that's one thing. Maybe, as we discussed, that the Ministry of Health is taking care of the citizen and the people living in Saudi, but it should be also something else that entrepreneur think about, that digital health can be in other settings, not specifically in the healthcare. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, of course. Well, when you think about it, this is what ultimate prevention tool. Every 40 minutes, it reminds me, sit up. Stand up, sit up, stand up.
Or do a sit up, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure what does your tracker say, but it says me, you're so cool. Keep doing it down. So that is the ultimate prevention, is go outside when it's possible, or I don't know, if it's 40 degrees outside, you have to schedule some, I don't know, some indoor terrain, whether to run, play basketball, football, whatever, or tennis, like Djokovic, let me repeat it here. And so that is the ultimate prevention. When it comes to mental health, there are, again, quite a few players there. And for instance, that was the thing you were saying, how when the government is doing, I'm not sure whether the government is providing counseling, but that is the service that could be in some capacity spread across the region and it's opportunity for startups, and some of them are already using it. And but the thing, as you were saying, like the health, it's not about the healthcare facility, it's about not getting to the healthcare facility, and that's where the digital health should be all about. And again, not just to stand up, but for the elderly, if they fall, their Apple Watch will instantly call those predefined numbers to ask for help. And by the way, that example from the Apple Watch is what the digital health kinds of services should ultimately be. They're seamlessly integrated. We don't even think about them. They are there.
Yes, there.
Whether to stand up, whether to call an emergency number. And some of the things we have started taking for granted, actually, we have to remind ourselves they didn't exist 5 years ago. Or when you're now in the US, you have your Saudi doctor, and who knows you since you were 10 or 15. Why do you have to, for some things, you want to talk with him? Why do you have to go to the local doctor in the US when you can easily call your doctor and send him your blood sample, not blood sample, but the readings and the lab results, and he'll tell you what to do. He knows you better than any new doctor you find down the street. So those are the things that should that are part of the digital health. Ultimately, while I was actually talking to someone who's not from the industry, I was telling him explaining what's the idea with the digital healthcare and why it was the last major industry to be digitized. The thing, we had like a few factors. First, the storage is abundant now. It used to be expensive. You can now store all your health records, all your MRIs, all ultrasound, all medical images in the cloud. That's one thing. So the storage is solved. The speed is there. The bandwidth, like 15 years ago, wasn't that fast. Now you can easily upload even the video. And third, the security is there. Security comes built in with every phone. We have a biometric built in. So you have three factors that were preventing actually a proper digitization of healthcare. And we're still not there. I should be able, when I'm going to Greece in a week. God forbid something happens, I have to offer my healthcare records to the local doctor. I should be able, okay, here I'm granting you permission for the next half an hour to access my records.
Yeah.
And they should be automatically deleted. That is not possible.
No.
I'm not sure that, across border, not even across border, we do have some FHIR standards, which is used for like solutions that work inside a hospital to access the data, or sometimes when for parties outside of the hospital. But for this, this is a regular scenario that is still not possible.
Yeah.
And that security, by the way, built in is very important for the people who are not tech savvy. Like my grandmother used to live. She doesn't know anything, but she doesn't have to know anything. It should be seamless as that fall detection. She just press the button, allow doctor to access it, and he can read it from the phone.
Yeah.
Perhaps he cannot take the screenshot or anything.
Yeah.
He can just read it from the phone, the health records for the next 15 minutes or 10 minutes or however it's needed, and they're wiped off their device. If she loses the phone, she doesn't know anything. No one will be able to find her health records, because that is the valuable data for some parties.
Yeah, I think we are going there because, it started with COVID. There is a vaccine passport. I think we will see like a health passport that you can travel around the world, then allow people to look at your health record, and also check also your status, because as you said, COVID triggers a lot of initiatives in the digital area. And I think it will continue, but it's about security, because we are dealing with very sensitive information. So security and privacy, it's really a challenging. So it might be one of the solution people will come to create, like a global application for people to allow other physician when they travel or something like that to access their information. So I think we are going there, meaning there is a lot of innovation and there is a lot of need. As you said, digital health is make it easy to access healthcare, and that's a challenge everywhere you go. Digital health also provide tailored and customized healthcare or preventive measures or preventive approaches, and that's what's lacking in the system, specifically in public health. You give one advice for all people to follow, and that's not working anymore. People need tailored and customized advices, and also they have a different lifestyle, different background, different needed, so you have to meet them, and the digital health will help this a lot. Thank you so much, Dosan. It's really a great discussion with you. Anything last you want to talk about? You are very welcome.
Make sure to sign up to our newsletter. It's free. It goes out every Tuesday. And buy our subscription. That's how we'll turn it into a business.
Yeah, sure.
I do think we provide a good value for money. I really do. And if you have any questions, please send them my way. You can just use the contact form on thehrf.com.
I will provide all the information in the description. I wish you all the best. I have, as I said, privilege to look at some of the report you are created, and it's really amazing. It's really something that I proud. It's there for people to access and see. So I wish you all the best. I hope to hear a good news in the soon future.
Yeah, I'm hoping that too. Definitely.
Thank you so much.
It was nice talking to you, Saud.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.